Do you know that there's about 60 to 80 million self-professed Christians in the United States? Okay? Roughly. Yeah. That's self-professed. There's probably more than that. Do you know what the percentage of Christians are that vote? Next time you go to church, I want you to think about this. Or let me back it up. Do you know what the percentage of Christians are that are registered to vote?
1 out of 4 voted last election.
Yeah, that's 1 out of 4 that voted last election. But how many of those are registered to vote that are sitting next to you in the pews?
Half.
That's it, half. About 50% are actually registered to vote.
That's 1 out of 8.
Yeah. So, and this last election cycle, of those who voted, or those who were registered to vote, we had 1 out of 4. Or 4 out of 10. So we had about 50%, a little bit less than 50% of those that actually voted. Now then, of those 50% that actually voted, guess what? There's only about 25% of those. So we're talking about 8 to 10 people out of every 100 that knew what they were voting on. Most of them, they're saying, well, I'm a registered Republican or I'm a registered Democrat. I always have been. My parents were, my grandparents were, so I'm going to vote. And I don't know who to vote for. I don't know what to vote for. So I see an R, I see a D. That's what I'm going to vote. That's your average voter. They don't know. The average voter gets about 6 minutes worth of political information every election cycle. An election cycle is every 2 years. So you get about 6 minutes of political information, and it comes in 30-second sound bites 6 weeks before the election. So how much real information do you have? You guys have already gotten more political information than the majority, your majority neighbors just tonight. And that doesn't count all the other times. So you are the leaders. You've seen these buttons, I am the Tea Party leader. Well, there's a reason for that, because you come into these meetings, you learn these things, you find these things out, and you go out and you do something about them. I hope you're going out and doing something about them. That's one of the things we want to talk about. We have an electronic voter database, and this is one of the things a lot of people say, oh, we have this database, and the Republicans control it, the Democrats control it. They got all these different things that they talk about. Well, let me show you something. We have, I can do that for you. Well, I need to.
Maybe I can't.
I need to get off of this. Don't do that. We have an Eagle Forum website that we put up about 2 years ago. It's a database that we're going to play with. It is the San Diego County Registrar of Voters Registrar's information on voters. This is an example of what you get out of this. This is all public information. What you put down in your voter registration card is a matter of public record. So if you put your cell phone in there and you get a call from some political office, guess what? It's legal to do that. So don't tell them, I'm sorry, you can't call me. This is my cell phone. You can't. I'm on the do not call list. It doesn't count for this, because this is used for political purposes, and you make phone calls. If your phone number is down there, it's legal to call you on that. So for instance, what we asked for here, we asked for some information. I asked for a certain precinct. So this is a precinct. But here's one of the things I want to ask you, with all of the changes that have taken place with the redistricting, just to show of hands real quick, how many of you know what congressional district you're now in? Okay, how many of you know what state senatorial district you're now in? How many of you know what state assembly district you're now in? How many of you know your zip code? Why are you laughing? See, this is part of the political process. They go out and they say state senate district, congressional district. I don't know. But you know your zip code. Guess what? Your zip code, these precincts, and all of these others are tied to your zip code. So we come up with a process that we're looking at. We're going to go and I love Obama. I really do love this man. I was at the Republican Party meeting a couple months ago, and they asked me to lead the party in prayer, and I did. And I talked about how much I like this man. He has done more for gun sales than any other 4 presidents. He has done more for ammunition sales. He has done more for the industry of survivalists than any 5 presidents have ever done. And he has done more to unite the faith-based, the conservative, and the family-friendly people of the United States. You probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Obama. So I pray for him every day like a good Christian. And I usually pray Psalm 109, verse 8. May his days be few and another take his office. Don't laugh, it's biblical, so I do that. So anyway, we have this information, so we asked for a walk list. We asked for voter information and people that voted, and we asked for high propensity. It means people that voted a lot. So we asked for the high propensity voters, 100% of the people that we wanted to know who voted in the last election cycle. In the primary, We can split it down in primary or the general. So we got it. And it shows us over here how they're registered to vote. It shows us phone number if they listed. It shows how they're registered, what party they're with. It shows if they're male or female. It shows their age. It shows PAV. PAV is permanent absentee voter. That means that they get their ballots by mail. That means that you want to make sure that you contact them 30 days before the election cycle when the absentee ballots go out. That's why when I go around to churches, I tell everybody, bring your absentee ballots. We're going to talk about the issues. And we always end up talking about candidates as well. So, if I can impact a couple hundred people, then I'm going to do that. And I push the envelope in this, and I have there's a whole slew of attorneys that are out there. We're waiting to get sued. We're waiting to get sued because the church is doing something that, from a biblical perspective, when we talk about the moral issues and the biblical issues from the pulpit and why you should vote for this person or why you shouldn't vote for this person. What is their position on things? And we're trying to get sued for that. So that's another story. So it shows how they voted. Now it shows that V means that they went in and they voted at the polls. And A means that they voted absentee, and an N means that they didn't vote. And you see, you've got one person here. So we asked for 80% in this one. And the rest of that is some data that we've just got kind of plugged in there. It doesn't really mean anything. And you can look at the bottom of this and kind of see what that is. So this is one of the tools that we have that we can talk about. Oops, I didn't go back. I'm sorry about that. So, one of the things we want to talk about is running for office. Either you run for office or encourage somebody to run for office. And one of the things, that we're always talking about, well, it's so hard to run for office. Gary, can I ask you to come up here for just a moment?
Oh,
Would you please?
he looks like
I'm going to show you how easy it is to run for office. I've run for political office. I ran for Congress back in 2006, and I've trained a lot of people in doing this. So I'm going to, as somebody that's out here that does a meet and greet, I'm going to go up and I'm going to show you what you do. This is called an elevator speech, a 30-second elevator speech. Hi, Gary. I'm Woody Woodrum. How are you doing tonight? Hey, listen, I'm running for a dog catcher in the K9 district, and I'd like for you to vote for me. Would you consider that? Listen, I understand that you know Dave over here. How long have you known him?
You're talking about Dave?
Yeah,
This Dave?
yeah. He's back there now.
10 years?
Oh, good for you. Good guy.
Yeah,
Good guy.
yeah.
Okay, well, listen.
Dave.
Yeah, but would you vote for me? I'd like for you to vote for me in this upcoming election for the K9 district as a dog catcher.
I probably would.
Okay, thank you very much.
Probably would.
Now, there's about a 30 or 45-second elevator speech. Thank you very much. Okay, all I did was I took a little bit of information that everybody gets.
Yeah, right.
He mentioned this when we went around the room. He mentioned his name. He mentioned that he knew Dave. And I went up and I shook his hand. Now, a lot of times people have name tags. Let me tell you a little secret when you're wearing name tags. Always put the name tag in your right-hand side. Because when you do that, it's a natural thing. I'm looking at it. Don't make a candidate look over here like this. And ladies, they're not looking at you. They're trying to look at your name tag. But I get that a lot. What are you doing? I'm looking at your name tag. Just bear with me for a minute. But wear the name tag in the right-hand side. It makes it easier for the candidate and for other people to see who you are. How many of you read the book Dale Carnegie's Winning Friends and Influencing People in the Digital Age? Great book. What is the most important thing that Carnegie says that people like?
Their own name.
That's it. Their name.
Teach the class.
Yeah.
11 years.
Oh, did you? Okay, the Carnegie method?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So here you go. So what did I do? I asked Gary to come up here. He'd given his name at the very beginning. He gave a little bit about himself. Each one of you did. And I figured that when I saw Gary, he's kind of an outgoing type of guy, and it probably wouldn't embarrass him to ask him to come forward. He's kind of an A+, B+ type personality, so it wouldn't embarrass him to ask him to come up. And you never want to put people on the spot. But you notice I shook his hand. And did I let go of your hand? No, I held on to it. I didn't squeeze to see which one of us was the strongest. I just gave him a firm handshake, and I held his hand, and I put my other hand on top of it. I'm not going to let you go is what that message is. I'm interested in what's going on. I looked him in the eye. The whole time I was talking to him, I looked him in the eye, except when I mentioned Dave, and I looked over at Dave. So we've now done some physical bonding. I have called his name a couple of times. I have something that he knows somebody personally, and I reach in my pocket, and I always carry my cards in my left-hand pocket, and I carry them like this so that when I pull them out, they're always facing you. And I held onto his hand, and I said, would you vote for me? I asked him to vote for me twice. And the second time he said, yes, I probably would. I'm done. Okay, as a politician, Sorry, I'm done with you. But remember on the other slide, dollars and votes. That's what's important to a politician. You watch a good politician when they're out there doing a meet and greet. That's what they'll do. I'll tell you one person that's here in San Diego County that I just love that does it better than anybody else is Duncan Hunter Sr.
Oh, yeah.
Duncan is one of the. I've known this man for years, and I just love watching him work a room because he takes it beyond that. He knows a lot of people, and he's very personable. And that's what you want to do. Running for office is really easy. These are things that you want to do. You want to have a business card. Business cards, let me give you some of the things that you want to take a look at with business cards. You want to have a business card, Vistaprint.com. That's where I get mine from. That's where the ones for the Tea Party group come from. Very inexpensive. Less than $10 for 200, 200 or 300 of them. It'll take you longer to figure out what you want on the business card. But one of the things you want to do is you want to have a